You can't see my man behind the camera, Chris Savage Ruffin. He's a fighter out of Syndicate MMA. He's got the Killmonger haircut going on. That's the first thing I saw.
He's styling. He's styling right now.
Right. You went back to the fade, though. It looks good.
The high top fade and bringing it back to the old school era again.
And with the chain, too. I see you bringing out the big guns tonight, man.
Yeah, man. New Jack City.
I got to show you my chain, man. I meant to wear it, but I fucking forgot it in the car, so I'm going to grab it later. Speaking of big guns, I got a chain that'll put yours to shame.
Yeah.
Not really, no. Not really.
I thought we were rapping right now.
No, I'm a rock star, man. I don't rap, man. I can't rap. You sing metal? We could do that.
Nah, that's not my speed.
Right. What's going on with you, man? Your team is looking good, man. Y'all got somebody, I forget the name. Somebody's coming down here for Contender Series in a couple of weeks.
From our team?
Yeah, because Steamroller told me he's coming down here with him.
Oh, it's one of his boys from Florida where he started training.
Oh, I see.
Before he moved back home to Long Island. His guy, I think, is Billy Quinn or something like that.
Oh, okay, I thought it was from your team up in New York. So,
yeah.
So what's going on with you, man? I know you're trying to put something together. You got a few little Twitter beefs going on here and there. You keep it.
It's amusing. It's flattering at the same time. It lets you know you're doing all the right things and you're in a position of power. At the end of the day, man, I think these guys they're gunning for me. And I welcome it, I welcome all challenges. I've never been one to shy away from a fight or any type of matchup. So bring them on. Bring on all challenges, man. I think I'm the best in the world, and at the end of the day, I'm going to go out there and prove it.
You got something booked right now or no?
Not right now. I'm still healing up. My thumb is a little jacked up still, but all the number one contender guys who I could possibly fight, they're banged up or they just had surgery themselves. So right now I'm just kind of sitting down, hanging out, enjoying my margaritas, and just waiting for that phone call.
You had a couple margaritas tonight?
Oh, yeah.
I can tell. All right, we'll have one later, man. So this is the third time I've seen you on the red carpet, man. You obviously enjoy the festivities as much as I do, man. Tell me, what does this mean to you? Are you presenting, or are you just hanging out
as of right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I was nominated.
I've heard that a lot today.
Yeah, I know I was nominated for Submission of the Year, but other than that, I don't know if I'm presenting or not. I'm just here to enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, who else is in that category? Who are you up against?
Zabit Magomed Sharapov. Ryan Hall versus his submission win over BJ Penn. Cowboy Cerrone's submission over Mike
Perry, that was a good one.
And Tyson Pedro, his submission over some guy's name I really have no idea how to pronounce.
Remind me of yours again.
Suloeve Stretch, which I have now dubbed the Funk Strudel. It's not a hamstring stretch. We take the knee out. We take the whole leg home.
Yeah, man, that one is a nasty, nasty one, man. It's hard to pull off, though, no?
No, 100%, but it really depends if the guy knows what's going on. If he doesn't, they just stand up, and they're just not being smart or think they could just bully out of it.
Yeah.
They're in for a long night and probably a long night in the hospital.
Yeah. So is that something that – because, I mean, obviously in a fight, when a finish presents itself, you take it when you can. Is that something that you drilled and worked on, or was it something that you saw on there and just went for it, or kind of both?
A little bit of both. I've hit that submission probably a couple times in the training room. But once you hit it once, like I said, a lot of guys, they tend to not stand up in that position. They realize, like, hey, if I stand up, I'm probably going to have my leg ripped off or my groin really, really stretched out. So they tend not to do that anymore in the training room. But I've hit it a few times, and when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, bingo, let's go for it and see what happens.
Yeah, it's very few times that submission has been pulled off in the octagon. I think I remember seeing somebody do it like 4 or 5 years ago, 4 or 5, 6 years ago. It was the first time I seen it.
Yep.
And so it pulls on the groin. It seems like it pulls on the hamstring really bad, too.
Yeah, the hamstring is what's really, really attacked in that position. I think it was Kenny Robertson who was the first guy to hit it in the UFC.
See, man, you know your stuff. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you
do.
You have a podcast now. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's called The Weekly Scraps. I just break down the last week's fights and mainly the UFC fights, because there's fights almost every single weekend. So I just break down stuff like that, do a little bit of technique talk and breaking down some of the stuff in training, my fight week, my coaches, and all that good stuff. And I break down the fights that are upcoming and try to give some insight. I don't like to bet on fights, but I like to give people the things that I think that both athletes possess and let them have a better insight to who they should bet their money on.
So do you think we'll see any big upsets at UFC 239 this weekend?
Yeah, possibly, man. You got the Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm fight. I know Holly's been a little bit up and down, but she's got one of the biggest upsets in the world, and you can't count that out. That's got to count for something. And then you got Thiago Santos. The guy is, I call him the all-or-nothing fighter. He goes out there, he's either going to knock you out or he's going to fight himself into exhaustion. So that's going to be a very fun fight against a very tough and cerebral, strategical John Jones.
I've said that a lot too, that if you're going to go against John Jones, you have to, because most people sort of just kind of freeze. Dean Thomas said it best. He said, like, it's like they're on ice. Like they're on ice skates and he's on regular ground, you know, because they're just thrown off by his timing and everything. But if you just go out there and go after him, I mean, that's the only chance you have. You try to play it safe, he's going to hurt you.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he picks guys apart and then he starts to get his way, takes them down, and then he really starts to unleash a lot more punishment on them. But yeah, man, you got to go out there and attack him. You can't have no fear going out there fighting a guy like that. At the end of the day, you get one of these opportunities, they don't come around too often, so you got to go out there and really try to seize the moment.
That's the Funk Master, everybody. Aljamain Sterling, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Have a good night.
Thank you.